Hello, fellow nerds. I am here with special guest author Jennifer Williams. Jennifer was born and raised in Ohio, but currently calls Colorado home. A lifelong lover of romance books, Jen felt pulled to write stories with older characters because old farts deserve love too. Jen prides herself on delivering realistic characters that struggle with normal problems. She spends most of her free time within her zoo: two kids, two dogs, and two cats. When not containing the chaos, Jen can be found lounging on her covered porch, devouring books on her Kindle. Welcome so much to the podcast, Jennifer. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I gotta say, being on a covered porch, reading your Kindle sounds delightful. But I'm assuming it's
Yes.
a little cold for that for you right now in Colorado.
Yes. The low last night was, I think, negative 15.
Oh my gosh.
So, like, my dogs didn't even want to be outside.
Yeah,
So,
no. Here in Kentucky, I think it was 3 or 4 was the low this morning, and that's more than enough cold for me. So negative 15, absolutely not. I
well,
have to,
and Kentucky has that humid cold too. So
yeah, it's
we get
weird.
dry cold here.
It's super weird. I laughed so hard when I saw on your website and in your bio too that old farts deserve love. That is just so funny. We talk all the time on the podcast about how so many female main characters, especially, and not just in romance, but in, sci-fi fantasy, they're young, 20, early to mid 20s. And as a gal who is in her late 30s, I appreciate the older characters. So what motivated you to write older characters? Was it just you saw the gap in the books, you wanted to see yourself represented? How did that happen?
Uh, I think it was kind of twofold. I didn't necessarily see a gap, but I like reading about characters where I can kind of visualize myself as the main character.
Yeah,
And so I guess I did see that there weren't as many options for older characters, but also I'm old. I I am I'm closer to 50 than I am to 40, and I don't know how to get into the mind frame of a 20-year-old.
right.
My kids are younger, but they both have special needs, so I can't ask them, "Hey, what's this slang mean?" or "Would this
Right.
sound right?" or anything like that. Uh, so yeah, I just was kind of wanting to write what I like to read, and definitely felt more comfortable uh, reading and writing books with older characters.
Yeah, I love that because my co-hosts, their kids are older and they talk about, when your kid is almost the same age as the character that you're reading about, it makes it weird. So it's not putting yourself in that position anymore with the character, it's putting your kid in there, and nobody wants to do that, right? It's nice to have
I
options for these older
accidentally,
characters.
yeah, I accidentally wrote a character with one of my nephew's names.
Oh no.
And like, my sister was like, no, I'm not reading that. And I was like, good on you. Don't read it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with that. And it was completely accidental. It was the last book that came out. His Italian name was shortened to an American
Mm.
name. And after I had already published him in other books, I was like, oh, crud, I got to write this at some point.
Yeah, it was too late.
And his name is Alex, and I have a nephew named Alex. Whoops, sorry.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's the thought that counts, I guess.
yeah,
It wasn't on
yeah.
purpose. The
No,
lack of
not
thought
at
there.
all. Absolutely not. No.
Well, another tagline on your website is that you write swoony and spicy small town romance, which is kind of a specific subgenre. And I was just curious, what led you to write small town? Is that just the genre that you like to read, or is it really more you like to write it and prefer to read other
I,
genres?
I have a vast array that I read. I love writing small town because there's always at least kind of one feral grandmother who just gets away with saying whatever she wants. And there's always a weird shop that nobody understands why it sells really well.
Right.
It's
How does
it's a
it stay
tourist
open?
trap. Yes. and it's always everybody's in everybody else's business. And,
Yeah.
so I love that aspect of small town books. And I started writing and kind of wrote just thinking, I'll just write this for a creative break, and
Yeah.
didn't think it was going to go where it went. And now I'm 12 books deep and very much invested in these
Yeah.
towns I've created.
I love that. Is there a specific book or a specific author that kind of inspired you to become a romance author in general, but also a small town romance author?
One of my favorite authors is Claire Kingsley, and she to me is like the queen of small town romance.
Yeah.
Melanie Harlow also does a great small town. Who else? Amy Dawes. Like there's all these big authors that are phenomenal at it. But Claire, I would say, kind of really, her books are ones that when I'm in a rut, I'll go back and reread, and reread over and
Yeah.
over again because I just love all of her things. In, inspired, I would say there's so many authors that I could see them being successful on TikTok. And
Hmm.
I just began to think, gosh, I've thought about writing since I was in my teens,
Yeah.
and I never really took the plunge. And so watching all of these other authors become successful, I thought, I need to just try this. What's the worst that could happen?
Why not me? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So I originally started out on, I was on the art teams for Brittany Nicole and Morgan Elizabeth. And when I started writing, I was kind of asking them both questions along the way, and they were giving me their thoughts and feedback. So I would say both of them really inspired me, especially seeing how successful they both have been.
That's one of my favorite things about Book Talk and Bookstagram is how collaborative it can be. I know not everybody in the space is like that, but
Yes.
I love the how collaborative and like such a how much of a community it really has become for so many people and helping build each
Hmm.
other up and the authors and readers also that don't see each other as competition but see each other as colleagues more and
Yeah.
just being willing to be that community spirit. I love that so much. And I love Brittany Nicole. So that makes me happy to hear. So
Yeah.
your
She's wonderful.
yeah, she is.
Uh,
So your most recent release is Worth the Test, right? And that's
mhm.
book 4 in the Eternity series. So
Yes.
what can readers expect from this book 4, but also from that series in general, if that's new for them?
Well, the series follows an Italian family in a small town west of Denver, Colorado, and they all kind of have contributed to running a kind of touristy, not exactly, it's an upscale bed and breakfast, not exactly a hotel, but kind of in the same area.
Yeah.
So one of them is the CEO, then somebody runs the spa, another person does special events. Like they're all kind of invested and ingrained in this hotel and how it runs. But they're a big, loud, kind of cantankerous Italian family, and they're up in everybody's business. And so in every book, there's at least one off the rails group chat with the family because they're just nuts. And they've got a grandma that is Nona, and Nona is like a legend, and she just kind of does her own thing and gets
That's
away
the
with
kind of grandma
murder.
I want to be.
Yep, she pinches butts all the time and just does her own thing. So, and she just says like, "Well, I'm in my 80s, I'm loud now," and that's how she gets away with everything. So,
So sorry, I was just going to
go
ask.
ahead.
So in the series, is every book focusing on a different member of the family in that, family business?
Yes, so I have a free novella, which is available on BookFunnel that anybody can contact me to get. And then the 6 books that I will be releasing, the 4 have already released, are following the other 6 siblings. So there's 7 children total, and they're all going to
Big
get their
family.
story. Yeah, it's Italian, like that's
Sure.
just how it is.
But
So yeah.
make sure email me the book funnel link, and we'll make sure
Okay.
and put it in the show notes so listeners can go to that and request it.
Yeah,
And by
absolutely. And I love
listeners,
because
I
it's
mean
kind of it.
Whitney.
Well, I like it because it's a novella, so people can try it out and kind of see, do I like her writing style? Because I know that,
Yeah.
certain styles are just not for every person. So I may not be, I'm very much into banter and dialogue, and
Yes.
sarcasm is my love language. So if that's not your
Yes.
thing, I may not be for you.
You're speaking my love language, Jen.
Yes.
1000% yes. So there are a lot of romance tropes available for writers to use in their writing. Do you have any least favorite tropes that you really try to avoid including in your writing, or are you kind of open to wherever the characters take you on their story?
For the most part, I'm a pantser.
Mm.
I don't really have a plot. I kind of let the characters go with what they're doing. But the one, well, okay. I do not like a love triangle at all. Like it
Mm.
just, I don't like it. It just bugs me to no end. Um,
Yeah.
and so I really highly doubt I will ever write a love triangle story. Uh, for the most part, I do not write a lot of miscommunication. I also don't write a lot of third act breakups.
Mm.
My breakups, if there's a breakup, it tends to be more at the halfway point. But they have a lot more conversation. I get a lot of comments from readers that they like the fact that my characters are more adult about
Mm.
discussing things. They don't,
Yeah.
think a lot of things in their head, but not speak them out loud. And then the other trope that um, I really haven't hit yet, I'm planning to do it soon, is second chance.
Mm.
It's just not my it's not my favorite. I don't
Yeah.
necessarily hate it, but I also don't want to have a misstep with how it's written. So I think I've
Hmm.
kind of been pushing it away so that it's a future gen problem and I don't have to deal with it right now.
I love that the better communication, that's one of the benefits of having older characters, right? That have lived
Yeah.
life a little bit more than a 20 or 22-year-old. And that fits
Yes.
those characters, right? That would be life lessons that they would learn in reality. And I would like to think we're better at communicating than we were when we were in our early 20s, but
Absolutely.
I'd
Yes.
like to
I
think
think
that.
back to when I just think, gosh, who I was dating when I was 22, 23. Oh man, there's a reason why I'm not married to that person, you know?
See, I'm one of those
I'm different.
weirdos that my husband and I have been together since we were 20, but like his parents and his sister, they started dating in high school. And just like you just said about your early 20s, that's how I feel about my high school sweetheart. Like, oh my gosh, like you guys married your high school boyfriend? Why? And it's like, oh, I had better taste, I guess. Or they had better taste
Yeah,
than me.
well, I think everybody kind of changes at their own speed. And so
Yeah.
I just know I was a very different person. I was not very confident back then. And I think I've
Yeah.
grown quite a bit since then. And I remember when my husband and I first started dating, ironically, he didn't want to get married and didn't want to have kids. And I remember just sitting him down and saying, listen, I'm not going to waste my time. If you're 100% set on not doing either of these things, then I'm going to hit the road.
Yeah.
And
Good for
we've been
you.
married. Yeah, we've been married now for 20 years and we have two kids. So
Oh, I love
clearly
that.
it worked.
He was like, wait, oh no.
Yeah. He's like, okay, I guess this is all right.
Don't leave, please. Can you share any details or hints about any upcoming projects, or is that all under wraps right now?
No, I actually just shared, I got tagged in something on Threads where it said to share 5 things with no context about your current project.
Oh,
And I'm
nice.
starting a new series. I'm going to be flip flopping between the Eternity series now and then a sports series. So I'm going
Ooh.
to broaden my horizons a little bit, do small town and sports. And so this book is a hockey player meets the local meteorologist because I am a nerd and I love weather. And so I'm writing a meteorologist. And so she gets to teach all these fancy weather things.
I love that.
and he has a "Who did this to you" line. At one
Mm.
point, he falls first, is obsessed with her, and does a little bit of accidental stalking, is what I'm calling it. Um,
I'm listening.
yeah. And then there's a couple of different animals that roam around in it. I won't give away too much because I just finalized the covers today, and they are
Oh, that's
the
exciting.
best. They're just the best things ever. So I can't wait to put those out sometime in February.
I was just about to ask, the cover reveal will be in February. Do you have a
Yeah.
timeline for the book release, or is that still
Uh,
hush
my
hush?
goal is right at the end of March, so March 27th, 28th timeframe.
Oh,
Uh, so I have a little bit more
nice and
writing to
soon.
do, and then I can pop it off to my editor and she can work her magic on it.
Yeah, oh, I love that. I'm a sucker for a hockey or sports in general romance, which I never thought I would be that reader, but there's just a lot of good options. I'm excited to add yours to my list. That
Yes,
brings
I'm
us
doing
to,
a series that will be all, it will not just be hockey. So the first,
ooh,
there's a novella and then a main book that are hockey, and then it's going to switch to football and then might be basketball or baseball. So I'm going to kind of jump around to some
hop
different
around.
ones. Yeah.
See which sport you like the best.
Yes.
I love that. That brings us to our nerdy and dirty speed round. These are just some random questions for listeners to kind of get to know you as a person a little bit. There are no wrong answers. So here we go. The first question: if you were going to be stranded in the mountains with one of your male main characters, which character would you choose?
Okay. I would choose from my first series. It's called Forever Mine. The character is Gabriel, and he is Brazilian but was raised in America. He is retired Army. He is the most patient man. He's also the oldest man I've written so far. He's 45. Um, but he's got that graying, like the
Salt and
salt and pepper
pepper.
hair. And he is just the cover is just phenomenal if you look it up. But he is so patient and very much a he'll talk you through it kind of guy. And
Yes,
yeah,
thank you.
he's yes, he is 100% who I would like to be on an island with.
Nice. Add that book to your TBR for Gabriel,
Yeah.
everybody. Next question. Would you prefer to be underdressed or overdressed for a special occasion? Or not even special occasion, just any occasion?
Okay, any occasion I would no, you know what? Both underdressed. Underdressed 100%. I do not enjoy getting all gussied up. I would prefer to be comfortable.
Me too.
So yeah, I would underdress definitely.
Yeah, I agree. That was the correct answer. I know I said there weren't
Okay.
any correct answers, but
You're
that
like,
was it.
yep. This
uh,
if I had said the other one, you would have been like, nope, we're done. Okay.
no, I just would have, I wouldn't have said anything. Wrong. Who is your fictional character crush, if you have one? We will also accept a celebrity crush if you have one of those
Oh,
instead.
fictional character crush. I'm looking, I have bookshelves. And so I'm like looking, ooh, Halsey Holmes from He's Not My Type by Megan Quinn. It's
Oh,
a hockey
yeah.
romance, and he is like so awkward and just unsure of himself. And then once it's on, it is on, and he is a completely different animal in the bedroom. And I absolutely loved him from the first book, and he wasn't till book four. And I just patiently waited to get his story. And so
You knew
he
that
is
moment was going to
my,
come.
yes, he's my book crush, 100%.
No, I haven't read that one yet. I need a lot of
It's
Megan
really
Quinn's on
good.
my list. And that's
That's my
another.
favorite series of her, I would say. Easily, it's my favorite series.
And it's hockey too.
Hmm.
Gotta add it to the TBR, the never ending TBR.
Yeah.
What personality quirk do you have that might surprise your readers?
Um, okay. Interestingly, I I have raging ADHD, and it impacts me so much that when I'm writing, I can't even listen to music because
Mm.
it will unfocus me. The only thing I can listen to is instrumental or classical or something where there's absolutely no dialogue because so people are like, "Oh, while you're writing, listen to an audiobook." And I'm like, "How on earth can anybody do
I
that?"
could never. No. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very much like to have sole focus on something.
Put the blinders on. Focus on
Yeah.
what you're doing. I'm like that too. I totally relate to that. What is your favorite thing to do on your day off from writing?
Sleep.
Hmm. Are you a sleep all day person?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I'm a night owl anyway. Like my writing, I will not start writing for probably another 2 hours. That's when I'll get going for the night. Um, so I'm very much a night owl, but also I love naps.
Mm,
I
yeah.
could take a nap every day and be very happy. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
there is.
understand why kids, like, I think back and I'm like, God, I fought my parents all the time on taking naps. I did
Yeah.
not know how amazing naps could be.
Yeah, it's like youth is wasted on the young, right? Naps are
Yes,
wasted on the little.
absolutely.
Yeah. If you could time travel, would you rather time travel to the past or to the future?
To the past, I would say. Okay, am I allowed to interact with my past self?
Sure.
Okay.
We
And
can
I
do
would like
whatever
to
we
go
want in
back
this
and just slap the
scenario.
snot out of myself, honestly, because I think back to in high school, I thought I was fat. And
Mm,
I just look at myself now and I'm
didn't
like,
we
oh my
all?
word, I would love to be that size again.
Yeah.
And just like giving myself that, like I mentioned earlier, my confidence wasn't the best. And I would love to just give myself a boost of confidence and,
Yeah.
say, this too shall pass. This isn't the end of the world. Like that's why I'd love to go into the past.
I love that. That's it. I'm sure a lot of us, myself included, would love to be able to do that for our past selves. And then the last speed round question is, what is your number one comfort read?
Oh, okay. I'm looking at my shelves to see what I have. Basically, I am a simp for anything by Bella Matthews. So I will read all of her stuff. One of my absolute favorite books that I have read probably 15 or 20 times is Hidden Miles by Claire Kingsley. It's the one where Leo Miles was injured when he was deployed, and then he comes back and has all of these issues. He's doesn't like to be touched, is scared to
Mm,
leave his home, that kind of thing.
mm.
Uh, but he like immediately leaves his home when he finds out she's in trouble. Like he has no qualms about going, and I just loved that.
Um,
So, yes, and yeah, I'll read the entire Agitators series by Megan Quinn, the hockey series. I'll read
the
all of that
hockey.
over and over again. Yeah.
Well, as soon as I can get through my reread of Iron Flame and Onyx Storm,
Did
I'll
you
put that.
already read Onyx Storm already?
No, I'm
Oh, okay.
rereading. I'm almost halfway through Iron Flame, and I ordered the like special edition hardback, so I don't have the actual Onyx Storm book yet. But I'm trying to finish Iron Flame before my Onyx Storm gets here, which I think I have 2 more days. So
I
we'll
did
see.
not buy it because I was mob mentality personally influenced last year when there was that whole there's some sort of unknown listing from Red Tower and nobody knew what it was, but they thought it was a special edition of Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
I ordered that and then I ordered the special edition of Iron Flame, and they both are still sitting on a shelf and I haven't read either one of them. So I have not started or I haven't purchased the third one because I'm like, I should probably read the first two
Yeah.
first before I buy any
I do
more.
recommend that.
Yeah.
They are good. I really enjoy them though. But that is neither here nor there.
Yeah.
So, where can readers best connect with you? Do you have a newsletter? Is your social media the best place to connect?
I would say yes. Social media is probably the best. I am on all the major platforms. I do also have a newsletter. I have a Facebook group. But I'm always available on Instagram DM, Facebook DM, and I do have a TikTok account. I'm not exactly the best about posting there. I guess I should figure it out, get my act together for the next 90 days and enjoy it while I have it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so Instagram and Facebook are probably the best bet if somebody wishes to contact me. And I have email as well.
And we'll have your Instagram handle in the show notes for this interview. So everyone will be able to go to your Instagram profile from the show notes.
Okay,
And
great.
where can we purchase your books?
I am exclusively on Amazon currently, so KU is the way to go. And I have all of my books so far have a regular paperback and then a special edition discrete paperback. So if you
Nice.
are more of a hands-on person, but you're apprehensive about having a hot boy on the front, I give you a second option to have in public, so it's not as
Yeah.
obvious you're reading spicy stuff.
Just have the hot boy in your imagination.
Yes, yes, exactly. Get the ebook for that. He's always on the ebook.
Yeah. My kids are younger, so I do appreciate a discreet cover for my 5 and 10-year-old. Um,
Just recently, my 10-year-old realized, like, these books are, what are you
what's
doing,
going
mom?
on? Yeah.
And I'm like, don't worry about it. Just go away.
Yeah. This is a grown-up thing.
Yeah.
Yes, I totally understand that dilemma. Do you have any upcoming events, signings that you'll be attending in 2025?
Yes, I am doing the Springs Book Bash at the end of April, which is in Colorado Springs. Then I am going to Hot and Steamy Pacific Northwest, which is in Vancouver, Washington, at the end of May.
Fun.
And the beginning of September, I'm doing Rocky Mountain Readers Retreat, which is in Denver.
That sounds great. And those are kind of spread out too, which is nice for traveling because I know
Yes,
those weekends are it takes a lot of energy to
yes,
go people. Yeah, that's great.
exactly. I
Good for
like to
you.
say
You
that
did it right.
I'm an extroverted introvert.
Mm,
So I can extrovert, but then I need a period to recover afterwards. So I can't do back to back events because
yeah.
it's too much.
Yeah, you did well with that timing.
Thank
And
you.
then to finish out the interview, we always finish our episodes. It's our nerdiest thing. We talk about our nerdiest thing of the week, which is normally book related, but it doesn't have to be. Just something that you got really excited about that you consider nerdy or that you think maybe other people will consider nerdy, but who cares what other people think, right? So we would just love to hear what your nerdiest thing of the week is.
Well, okay. The book that I'm currently writing is Meteorologist Hockey Player. Well, I was one day just perusing TikTok and came across one of my favorite book talkers who started talking about her main job, which was a meteorologist. And so I reached out to her and
Oh,
said, "Hey, I'm writing this story just because I want to make sure I'm getting all the facts right. Can you?" And she was like,
yeah.
"Yep, I will help you out." So that's like my nerdy thing that I got an actual meteorologist
I
that is
love that.
wanting to help me make sure I do everything by the book for
Yeah,
this
almost like an
novel.
expert beta read almost.
Yes. Yes,
I love that's
exactly.
fun.
I don't want to explain a weather term incorrectly. So,
Sure, yeah. That's always and a bookstagrammer or a book talker too. That's always exciting. Again, the
yes.
community and the collaboration. I love that.
Yeah, I was just tickled by it. I was like, "Oh my gosh, these are like two passions meeting together in my world that I've got.
Oh.
I love weather and I love books and now get to combine them." So, very
Well, and
cool.
I've read a lot of hockey books at this point, and I've never read that combination of a hockey player and a local news meteorologist. I'm excited for that.
Yes. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast and chatting with me. It was wonderful get to talk to you face to face. And
Thank you.
hopefully
You
we'll
too.
be able to meet in person sometime soon. Maybe I'll have to travel out west to come to a
Yes,
signing.
yes. Absolutely.